Rev up your engines!
Well, what can you say? There's another electric fire. This time it's outside of Detroit, and a hybrid F-150 started on fire and burnt to the ground. The guy said, I started to see gray smoke. I pulled over. Next thing you know, it's flames. Luckily, I got myself and my daughter out of the car, and we're all safe. But as you can see from these pictures, there's nothing left of the truck. Now, this was only an 8-month-old truck, and it burnt down to the ground. They do not have this technology down pat. It's quite obvious. They're selling it to people, but the technology just isn't built correctly or designed correctly, or a combination of them. Burns down to the ground. The guy's lucky that smoked a lot first, so he got out with his daughter. You know, it could have been worse. They're pushing this stuff on us, but it's not ready for prime time. It just isn't. If you want to see the whole thing, just go to YouTube and put in hybrid Ford F-150 truck ignites into flames on the road. Oh, it's great. You can plug it in. You can power your house. You can blah, blah. How about powering the truck itself without burning down to the ground? And they're still trying to sell it to people at these outrageous prices. And then who gets screwed over? The person who bought it. And of course, it's already started, but it's going to get worse. Oh, you bought this electric hybrid truck. Hey, well, a bunch of them burnt down. Your premiums, especially the fire premiums, are going to go way up in the air. Because guess who pays for it? We pay for it as consumers if they make vehicles that burn down and cost too much money to fix. A normal car is a little fire, you put it out, you fix it. This thing was total. Once those lithium batteries start burning, they're total. And who's going to pay for it? The insurance company does, and what do? Then they raise rates for everyone. So we have to pay for these car companies' mistakes for trying to sell us vehicles that aren't ready yet. Well, Volkswagen just upped the ante. They put some more money in their joint venture of Rivian. Now it's up to $5.8 billion. Now what it comes down to is, they say they're sharing software and tech and blah, 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 blah. What it basically comes down to is Volkswagen's still trying to get a push for electric vehicles. Rivian makes electric vehicles. They don't make all that many of them, but they've been doing it for quite some time. And Volkswagen's going to be using their technology. Now, it might not be that bad of a move on Volkswagen, because if you think about it, why reinvent the wheel? If somebody's made an electric vehicle, why would you want to have to reinvent all that stuff? It's very complex the way they make electric cars. They don't have to be. Mind you, the Chinese can make them for $10,000. It's an electric car with a battery in it, right? Battery, motor, like a little race cars that kids play with a remote control, right? They're not that complex. They don't need to have all this crap that they put in them, like Elon Musk and his cars that are talking to you and park themselves. You don't need that. You just need a battery and a motor. They could be made a lot cheaper and simpler, but they aren't. They kind of started off on the wrong foothold. They should have started simpler and work up. Instead, well, let's put all this complex stuff because we can, and then when it breaks down, more problems, fortune to fix them because they're so complicated. They don't need to be so complicated, but of course, they love it in a corporation, and if they make a complex thing, then when it breaks, they can make a fortune either fixing it or saying, well, it's broken, buy another one. So, planned obsolescence is out, but Volkswagen's thinking, hey, these Rivian guys, they know something. Let's put a bunch of money in with them. Let's see how it pans out. Because I don't think this electric car nonsense is going to be pulling in the United States very strong for very much longer. People are already revolting against it. There's truckloads of them lying around that haven't been sold, especially the American car manufacturers like Rivian. Yeah, the Chinese sell a whole bunch in China, but that's a completely different ballgame. They're cheaper. Communist country can tell people, no, we're not going to have gasoline anymore. We're just going to have electrics. They can be told to do that. Here, we still have a choice, and most people are voting with their dollars, and that shows that less than 1% of the cars on the road are electric cars. Is this a good move or not? I predict that it's a bad move. Let's see what happens. A guy got pulled over in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was 67, and the trooper said that, oh, he's impaired. He's drunk, right? Well, the guy just came back from dinner with his wife. He had one drink, but he had a big dinner, so he knew he wasn't drunk. Well, they did a blood test, but he got a DUI. He had to go to court, but then when he got there, the blood test said no. He didn't have any alcohol or illegal drugs. The only thing he had was he had a prescription, and the prescription drug was in his bloodstream, a totally legal prescription. The trooper claimed he was impaired. This is outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. Maybe avoid Knoxville, Tennessee. And when he took breathalyzer tests, it was all zeros. It showed he didn't have any. And so the guy says after he sees it's nothing, oh, you think you're going to let me go now? And he said, the trooper said, no, you're under the influence of something. He was arrested and got a $1,000 bond. They said he had prescribed medicine in his system, but no alcohol and no illegal drugs. He had to pay his attorney $7,000 and an additional $350 out of pocket. Now, that's not fair, if you ask me. This country has a screwed up legal system. It should go by what the English do. That if somebody wrongfully accuses you or whatever, you can sue them and they have to pay for it all. I think the trooper should have had to pay for it all for saying that the guy was under the influence when he wasn't. And the blood work proved that he wasn't. Too much power one way here. Hey, if you're going to give out stuff like that, somebody should be responsible. He had to pay a lawyer $7,000 and $350 court costs. Why did he have to pay $350 court costs? He won. He wasn't convicted of DUI. So I guess the moral of the story is stay away from Knoxville, Tennessee. If they got zeros and stuff, they shouldn't be allowed to arrest you. That's just plain stupidity. That's what the breath analyzers are for. And they also have things that they can test for certain drugs, too. If it turns purple, it's this. But he didn't have any of those things in him. So, but he still had to shell out $7,350. Well, they're all talking about green hydrogen. Well, if green hydrogen, it'll be great for fueling, blah, 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 blah. The problem with most hydrogen today is that like 90% of it comes from petrochemicals. Because if you don't know, oil is nothing but hydrogen and carbon and all these weird different configurations of hydrogen and carbon molecules. So they turn that into hydrogen. But that's a dirty process. That's what they say, right? So now we want green. Well, guess what? Another green hydrogen factory is shutting down. This one is Fortescue's, which created 550 megawatt green hydrogen project. It's collapsing because the owner's selling the land and saying this isn't economically feasible. Now, this is a green hydrogen and ammonia complex at Gibson Island, Brisbane, Australia. Why is it failing? You know why? Because electricity costs too much money. They said the cost of electricity has gotten too high. Well, they're just using electricity to create hydrogen from water. Right? You might think, oh, well, water's H2O, hydrogen, oxygen. We'll get it out of that. They don't understand that the bonds between hydrogen and oxygen and H2O are super strong. A lot of water around, you notice it's still sitting there, right? Strong bonds. To break them takes so much energy that it's just stupid because they were using so much electricity that cost so much money to create the hydrogen that they're having a net loss. They're spending more money on the electricity than they get out of the hydrogen when they're done, showing that this green hydrogen stuff is proving to be a giant fiasco worldwide. You know, they're all saying, we can make green hydrogen. Yes, you can, but you got to use too much energy to make it. If you're going to, what are you going to use the hydrogen for? Well, hydrogen, we're going to use them in hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Well, those are electric vehicles, right? So why are you using electricity to turn water into hydrogen, use the hydrogen to create electricity? You've already used all that electricity. That's got to come from somewhere. You might as well use it direct rather than using it indirectly. And they're finding this out. Hilariously enough, in 2022, the Australian company started this up, and they were doing both ammonia and they were going to do hydrogen. Well, in January 2023, they shut the ammonia plant down because same thing. It was just costing too much money, too much electricity. And now they're giving up on the green hydrogen. Maybe somebody's finally getting some common sense and saying, why would you use electricity to create hydrogen, to create electricity when you already had the electricity? Kind of doesn't make any sense, right? And economically, people are finding out, no, it isn't. All these green hydrogen things are going whoosh. They're going up in smoke. Well, not up in smoke. They're not even doing anything. They're just disappearing because they're not economically viable. Well, if you've been following the airlines, all kind of problems with people bringing animals that are not supposed to, having problems with seatings. Well, American Airlines says that you can have a dog if it's a service dog for people that are blind or have problems, right? And it's supposed to go under the seat. It says that they're not supposed to go in the seats. But this woman had a poodle on an American Airlines flight, and it was sitting next to her. So what's up? If you buy a seat for the dog, then the dog can sit on the seat because you own that seat, even though they said they're not supposed to sit on the seat. So there's kind of a contradiction here. Now, what kind of gets me is this. You're flying in an airplane, right? And then if you buy the seat next to you, you put a dog on it. There are many people who are allergic to dogs. Let's say the person that's sitting next to you is allergic to dogs. What are they going to do then? There's ramifications of this stuff. It's in an enclosed area. If you're outside, who cares? It's the open air, right? I don't even understand why they care about people smoking outside. It's outside. It's a big area, right? But when you're in an airplane, that's an enclosed area. Just like the people who are whining that they weren't getting rides from Uber because they had a dog with them. That's even a more enclosed area, a car. The people should have the right of not taking a dog in a car. If it's their car that they make a living carrying people around, it'll start smelling like dogs. People won't want to use that Uber anymore. They might get in and say it smells like dogs and leave, cancel the ride. So, what is it with these people taking over the world? And then they have American Airlines, the contradiction of the whole thing, saying, well, the dogs have to go under the seat. But in this case, the dog sat next to the woman because she bought the seat on it. So, hey, really makes you wonder. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.